Good morning. I'm going to do my speech in English because my German is awful, so I apologize for that up front. Well, first of all, this is my first Digital X. I did not have a chance to attend it last year. And I have to tell you, I am super impressed. So Hagen, congratulations. I'm impressed from multiple sides. One is just walking around and seeing our solutions, seeing the ecosystem of our partners coming together in an integrated fashion to show our clients what we can do for them is impressive. To see our people in Deutsche Telekom excited about being here, excited to meet the clients, it's always energizing. But the most impressive thing for me, the most impressive, is the fact that we have up to 20,000 visitors to this event. 20,000 visitors that are interested to learn, how do I digitize? How do I go faster? What are the technologies? What are the tools that I can have in order to drive my business forward? That is impressive. And the party last night was pretty impressive too, I have to say. So what I would like to share with you is what do we think about digitization? And I'm going to start with just talking about what does Digital X mean to you? What does it mean to me? And I'll tell you, Digital X to me is the four cornerstones of what we at TSystems want to bring to the market to help our clients. And the four cornerstones, of course, are connectivity, digital, cloud and infrastructure, and security. So that is what it means to me. And what I'd like to do now is take the opportunity to talk to you a little bit more about what do these different pillars mean and how can you take advantage of them. What are the capabilities? What are the solutions? What are the things that you could do real time to take advantage of them? And we'll bring them together, these four capabilities, in an integrated systems way, which is, no surprise, connects to the TSystems name. So let me start with that. And let me start first with probably the foundation of digitization. And that is connectivity. Now, a lot of us take connectivity for granted. People just think it's there. Broadband, mobile, it's available. But it is not so easy, as you know, to build a global or countrywide connectivity platform that is fit for business. And that is what we, as Deutsche Telekom, are enamored with. Of course, the biggest part of connectivity for us in the near future is mobile. Why mobile? Well, mobile because everything is becoming mobile. Everything is on the go. Real-time computing becoming a differentiator. And it doesn't mean that every milk can or every elevator or every street light needs to be connected, but it does mean that the future of production, the future of autonomous driving, the future of processes require this super strong network in order to make it real. And I'm not going to steal the thunder from my board colleague who's coming after me, Dirk Versner, responsible for Germany, because he'll talk a lot about 5G, but I want to touch on a couple of points of 5G. We don't just think 5G is just the next version of mobile connectivity. We think it's much more than that. Now, you probably say, well, of course, you're Deutsche Telekom, you'll say that. But in reality, when you think about the broadband capability, you think about the latency, you think about the security, 5G will make Industry 4.0 a reality. It will be the underpinning infrastructure to enable that Industry 4.0. And we are super, super excited about that. Now, everywhere you go, you will see 5G because of its importance to us. But what I would like to do is talk about one part of 5G implementation that's relevant for B2B, and that is campus networks. And you may say, well, what is campus network? Despite the fact that we've been talking about it quite a bit. Well, campus network starts for us, with a public 5G network that can be optimized for your campus. But then what we do is we take a slice of that public network and enhance it on your premise to make 5G your connectivity on your campus, whether it's a production facility, distribution center, R&D, or just big offices that requires quite a bit of connectivity. That private slice of 5G is your network. It is your private network. You decide who has access to it. You decide the speeds, the service level agreements, the quality level. You decide who touches the data in that private network. You decide if that data can travel outside of your campus to the public network. It is your decision. This is very different than what we've done in the past with LTEs. This is very exciting for companies that are looking to dramatically change how they run their businesses. Now you may say, look, I have Wi-Fi on my campus, and there is a new industry standard for Wi-Fi that's coming up, and that's true. But let me assure you, when you think about the different use cases, whether it's autonomous vehicles, whether it's sensors connected in your manufacturing floor, whether it is maintenance, AR, VR implementation for maintenance, or my favorite example is reconfiguration of your production floor, which today means a big deal because majority of our machines, majority of our tools today are wired. And therefore, reconfiguring that environment takes time, and it's costly. But imagine a factory that can be reconfigured within hours to change from one type of production to another type of production. Imagine in the next 5 years being able to produce multiple things from the same line because you're able to move machinery around within hours. Ladies and gentlemen, 5G working with industrial partners is going to make that happen. It's going to make that real. And that is what's exciting about this environment. But if you think about what else do you need to make this a reality, you need compute and storage that is very close to where the data is being generated. And today, I am super excited to announce TSystems Deutsche Telekom's Edge Compute Platform as a Service. That is a new announcement. And you may say, well, what does that really mean and what do I really need? Well, you need that when you have an application that gathers significant amount of data and requires to analyze the data using AI and other tools and then be able to take real-time actions to respond to the learnings from the captured data. And the requirements of the speed and latency vary depending on the application. And there are applications today on the near edge and devices that require less than 5 millisecond response time. That, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be done with central computing. It is not possible. Therefore, we are announcing the edge computing as a service to you as clients to be able to start experimenting with that. And some of our clients are already ahead. Some of our clients, like Daimler, are using that edge compute environment to test their vehicles in extreme conditions. Whether it's Finland with a very low temperature and ice, or in the deserts in the Middle East, in Dubai, to figure out where their cars really stand in these harsh conditions. They need real-time computing right next to the test site, not somewhere centrally. There's a lot more to come on this, and I would encourage you as you walk around the Deutsche Telekom's booths to go and ask our colleagues about this edge computing capability and how do you use it. And we are a big believer in Deutsche Telekom that 5G edge computing is where we can take the lead, where we are the leaders in the industry. Now, the second pillar that I want to talk about is cloud and infrastructure. And look, as a business, we have been in the cloud and infrastructure business for a long, long time. It started in 2007 when we introduced our first private cloud environment, dynamic cloud computing. And since then, we've deployed over 65,000 cloud solutions across the world, many of them in Germany. And over the last 10 plus years, we have learned what happens in this cloud computing environment. And of course, we have seen, all of us, the evolution of different versions of cloud. Public cloud being the one that we talk about the most today. And of course, there are leaders in the marketplace like Microsoft, AWS, Google, Alibaba, who are driving that new way of computing. Highly automated, highly standardized, available, scalable, easy to use in the marketplace. However, the environment is not just public clouds. And what we've seen actually over the last few years, public cloud raised some of the concerns that we must address as the industry. And there's particularly three concerns that the companies worry about. Number one is, we're beginning to see that not just one cloud environment can be the solution for all. Meaning, for every application, for every environment, there is an optimum cloud solution. Whether it's a public cloud, whether it's a private cloud, whether it's a hybrid cloud, that is the fact. And edge computing, by the way, is one of the examples where we're actually going the other direction, from public cloud, where everything is centralized and standardized, being close to where the data manipulation and data creation is happening because of the real-time computing requirements. So the point there is that this environment is complex. And the number of users that are using those environments is increasing. So it's not just the IT professionals. It is not just the development teams who provision their compute store environments for their need. It is also the business users who are getting comfortable in provisioning some of these environments very, very quickly. So the proliferation of these different cloud solutions creates complexity. The flexibility that these compute platforms give us creates concerns for the enterprise. And there's another concern that we keep talking about it, and yesterday Tim addressed it quite loudly, which is the fear of dependency, and especially from the European countries. The fear of dependency on somebody else to manage my compute environment, to manage my storage environment, and most importantly, to have access to my data without my permission. We are a big supporter of the German government's Gaia X initiative. We're there, we're involved, we believe in the sovereignty of data, we believe we must have a solution that gives the data owners the ability to decide who accesses the data, when, and where does that data reside. So there will be a solution for the European continent where there is more self-dependency rather than dependency on others. That doesn't mean public cloud solutions are not relevant. They are relevant. But we must address this dependency question. Now, because of that, because of this variation of the different clouds, what I would like to share with you today is another announcement we're making, and that is the announcement of the future cloud infrastructure platform that we have created with our partner VMware, which I'll bring to the stage in a few minutes. This is a highly automated, highly optimized from a cost perspective, flexible environment that is the next generation of private clouds. It is not designed to replace Azure or AWS or Google. That is not the design point. It is designed to modernize the computing platform that we have been deploying over more than 10 years. Our clients are asking us for the next generation. Why? Horses for different horses for different courses, because certain environments continue to require private cloud environments. Now, we're very, very proud with this announcement, but we're also very proud with the fact that our partnerships with Microsoft, with AWS, are growing significantly year on year, demonstrating that there is a need in this market across these different platforms. So, what I'd like to do now is I would like to bring Pat Gelsinger, who is the CEO of VMware, who's been a huge partner of TSystems for the last 10 years, but has been instrumental in helping us develop this future cloud platform. So Pat, please come up to the stage. Pat, so first of all, look, I want to thank you again for the partnership that we've had since before I joined TSystems, but especially in the last 2 years, helping us modernize and drive innovation in our company. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Adel. Thank you to Digital X, to Deutsche Telekom. We appreciate the partnership now over many years, and great to be here with this exciting announcement today.
Perfect. So Pat, look, we know who you are, and I am sure many people in the audience know who VMware are. But for the ones who don't, can you just very quickly introduce your company?
Well, thanks. And VMware, we're the perfect Stanford startup. A couple of professors coming together with a couple of students, and the company started about 20 years ago to virtualize infrastructure. It started out with compute, and today we have 80+% of all workloads in private clouds run on VMware. And this has become what we like to call the essential ubiquitous infrastructure that we enable our customers to take advantage of hardware through this magic of virtualization. And we're able to do that today on any private cloud, but also all the public clouds. We've extended to be able to offer that for any application. And the idea is that, well, you know, as I like to joke, I say, why could God create the earth in 7 days? He had no legacy, right? And we in IT...
Greenfield.
Yeah, it's all greenfield. But we in IT know that today's cool new stuff is tomorrow's legacy. So we're doing this for any app. For the new ones, all these microservices scale up, but also the existing workloads. We're delivering that on any device. All of the traditional PC devices, but all the mobile devices, and the increasing edge devices, and seeing your announcements in that area. And increasingly with what we call intrinsic security, where we just say security has become way too complex, too many products, too many breaches. We have to simplify and build more of it in. And this is the journey that VMware is on, and we're just thrilled to be able to do that with TSystems and Deutsche Telekom.
That's great, Pat. So if you remember, in February of 2019, we came together and we said, look, let's work together to take VMware to AWS. Right? And you were working on this, and we came and say, can we be your partner to help you with that and help Germany then take advantage of the technology? And just last month, Frank Strecker and the team announced actually VMware being in AWS and TSystems' ability to take customer into AWS and build their data center in 2 hours.
Yep.
So that's cool. Now, FCI.
Yep.
Can you share what FCI means to you and how do you see the future of it?
Yeah, and we're quite excited. And what we've done, and we call it VMware Cloud Foundation. And you know, if you and I were baking a great meal, we'd start with great ingredients. And VMware is the leader in compute virtualization, network virtualization, storage, automation. And we've brought those ingredients together into what we call Cloud Foundation. And that Cloud Foundation is available on AWS, the partnership that we announced earlier this year. But we're now putting it on premise in FCI with TSystems. And this is the excitement of today, that we'll have the same infrastructure in the public clouds, but also on the TSystems cloud, as well as being able to deliver that on-premise as well. So this ability to deliver a common hybrid cloud infrastructure, that's the excitement. Partnering with FCI brings that into Germany, in German data centers, not dealing with any of the data governance and sovereignty issues. And we're also enhancing that with additional capabilities. One of those we call HCX. This ability to have migration of running workloads. We can go from private to public and back. Bulk migration of active workloads. Being able to help to really take advantage of FCI and also extend that with capabilities like automation through vRealize, automation suite, and extend it to the edge with our VeloCloud partnership as well that we put in place. This whole idea of software-defined WAN. So building the core of FCI, but extending it with these powerful capabilities as well.
Now, Pat, you've been on a massive acquisition trail, right? Congratulations, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic. You mentioned a few of them. VeloCloud, Pivotal was announced a month ago or so.
Yep.
But I want to come back to this point of different cloud environments. Right? I talked about it a few minutes ago of why private cloud is still relevant, why Microsoft, AWS, Google are super relevant in the future. What is your view on these multi-cloud environments?
Yeah, and as we would say, every one of you should figure out how to take advantage of these massive public cloud resources. They're powerful, they're evolving rapidly, but every one of you needs a multi-cloud strategy, where some things you might say, hey, I like that on Amazon. Others you'll say, I want that on Azure. Others you say, I need that on-premise. I need that in my control. So we'd say multi-cloud is about harnessing the power of those different environments and really using them as appropriate in the different environments. And we're here to help create consistent operations so you can take advantage of all of them. But underneath that, we say there's a more powerful answer, and that's where hybrid cloud. It's not just consistent operations, but consistent infrastructure. So you don't have to rebuild the applications, which, some of the apps that you all are running, your children wrote them. I mean, your children of the people who wrote them are now retiring. Right? These are just long tails. So how do we create this consistent environment as well? And that's what hybrid cloud is about. So it's about multi-cloud, harnessing those resources, and building these environments that allow you to migrate rapidly into new modern infrastructure as well.
Exactly. So for the audience in the room, right? So for the business leaders, the startup companies who've been thinking about what do I choose? Do I choose the private? Do I choose the public? The reality is, please don't be concerned the fact that you may need different environments. That is the fact of life.
Yep.
Now, Pat, to address that, we have another announcement we want to make. We have created this multi-cloud, hybrid cloud orchestration layer to help our customers manage the complexity of the different clouds. And of course, Pat and his team have been instrumental. So can you just share with the team the technologies involved in managing these different clouds?
Yeah, this management or automation layer is critical because you don't want to be worried about that infrastructure. You want it to be increasingly automated. And you want your developers to be able to take advantage of a development environment without a priori deciding where it's going to run. And that's really what it's about. For that at the infrastructure level, we talked about our Amazon partnership, but we've also recently announced a major partnership with Azure. We've also announced with Google. We've also announced with Oracle and Alibaba so that we have consistent infrastructure able to run those environments. And as we would say, we're out to help you do 5 things. Build your next generation applications, run those applications, manage the apps and environment they run on, connect them up, because in a multi-cloud environment, that connectivity is so critical and why this partnership is so powerful. And then finally, protect them. They got to be secure as well.
Security, absolutely right. Well, look, because we're here in this fantastic event, right, what we thought to do together is offer something to the attendees here, right? And what we have for you is a free trial for 6 weeks. So any one of you who would like to experiment using this multi-cloud, hybrid cloud orchestration layer, you can pick your cloud. It does not have to be anything provided by TSystems. It could be one of our partners like Microsoft. AWS, Google, a private cloud, on-premise solutions that you have, for 6 weeks, TSystems and VMware will provide that for free for you to learn and explore. Does that make sense to you? If you're interested, please stop by our booth and look at it. So Pat, with that, thank you very much for your partnership. We really value it, and thank you for flying from the US to be here on your way to VMworld, which is starting next week.
Next week in Barcelona, and I know we'll have a number of you there as well. And thank you again to our partners at TSystems, to our partners at Deutsche Telekom, for all of you here at Digital X. It really is a privilege for me to be on the stage with you, Adel, today. Thank you, my friend.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you. So now let's go to the third leg of our 4 pillars. And of course, security must be part of it. And we've heard everybody say that without security, it's very difficult to digitize. And we at Deutsche Telekom have invested heavily in the security. You've heard us talk about that, right? We have over 1,600 colleagues that are working specially on security. We have a dedicated unit led by Dirk Backhofen that's been one of the leaders, not only in Germany, but also in Europe, introducing new technologies. Just 25 kilometers from here, we have the largest cyber security center available to you in Europe, in Germany. So take advantage of that. But what's happening in security? If you look at what we see, of course, we start with protecting ourselves. Of course, we protect Deutsche Telekom's networks first. And because we are a premier internet service provider, we have a unique position and visibility to the activities on the German World Wide Web and the global World Wide Web. That gives us a unique advantage. And what we see today as a company, more than 40 million attacks on average. 40 million attacks on average per day. Per day, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, some of these attacks are on what we call honeypots in our network. We attract the hackers. We want to learn. We have one of the largest databases of malware in the industry that we share openly with our competitors and our partners. Why? Because we believe in inclusion. We believe that combining the knowledge around security is going to make us stronger. And in the peak, we have seen 60 million attacks on our infrastructure per day. That's been the peak versus the average. Now, of course, we have been building this capability, and we have taken what we do for Deutsche Telekom and made it available to our customers. So we have now most of the DAX 30 customers, many of the Mittelstand customers and SMEs that are using this capability to secure themselves. But I'm going to stop talking about that. I want to talk to you about one initiative or one view of what's happening around security that not a lot of people talk about, and that is making security unique for the industries. So what we're seeing is not just provide vanilla capabilities to everybody, which you can, and you can gain a lot from using that capability, whatever company you are. But what we're beginning to see is the need to start adjusting and optimizing security solutions by industry. We're working with Continental on a SOC for the car. That's becoming like a moving data center. We're working with some partners in financial services to optimize a SOC and a security solution for the banks and insurance companies, compliant with the BaFin requirements that these companies have. The same thing for retail. The same thing for the industrial sector, where we're working with one very large industrial partner to secure operational technology within their plants and distribution centers. More to come on that in the future. That's what I wanted to share with you in terms of security. I'm going to move now to the final leg or the final pillar of our 4-pillar strategy, and that is digitization. And of course, digitization can be many things. It could be digitizing my applications, it could be digitizing my processes, it could be automation, it could be all those things. But I want to zero in on 2 things in digital. I want to share that with you, and we're very excited about that. The first one is blockchain. Now, blockchain is not a new technology to anybody in this room. I'm sure every one of you have heard something about blockchain. And everybody's excited about blockchain. Look, we've implemented one of the widest blockchain applications across the government in Germany around asylum seekers management. Many companies have deployed blockchain in their supply chain to protect their digitization and their contracting in the supply chain. Inherently, blockchain is more secure because its origin comes from cryptography, as well as the fact that its compute power is decentralized in the different nodes. It's much harder to attack an environment that's decentralized rather than a central environment. But what's interesting is that what we've seen, although a lot of money has been spent, 1.5 billion has been spent on blockchain projects in 2018. 1.5 billion, 88% increase in spend, but only 8% success rate. 92% failures or lack of continuation of blockchain. Well, why is that? Well, first, of course, it's new technology. There are a lot of experts that are learning the technology. But more important, it is not cheap. It's very expensive to actually deploy a blockchain. The infrastructure, the tools, the interfaces, the knowledgeable skills that can deploy it and manage it, all those are challenges that companies are facing, big or small. So what we came up with in Deutsche Telekom is an idea: why don't we create blockchain as a service for Germany? And that's what we're announcing today. And we're super excited about this because it is a space that's wide open. So blockchain as a service is a ready-to-use environment for any company to come and experiment and use it without having to invest heavily in building that platform. So you have the infrastructure, you have the tools, you have the experts that can help you deploy that on demand. You get charged as you use. And it's easy to turn it off. It's easy to say, okay, it doesn't work, or easier to scale it up. So this is something that's available to you, everybody in the audience, all of our clients. Please inquire to any of our colleagues on the floor, and they'll direct you to where blockchain desks are, and you can experiment and you can think about whether or not that makes sense to you. So that is the first part that I wanted to talk about. The second part I wanted to talk about is another partnership that we are super excited about. And this is a partnership where you have 2 large German companies coming together to put their best expertise to deliver solution to Mittelstand, SMEs, and of course, the large enterprise clients. And that is partnership between Siemens and Deutsche Telekom. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to invite Dr. Ralf Wagner to the stage to talk to us about this partnership. Ralf?
Thank you, Adel.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Ralf is the COO of the very well-known platform called MSphere. He's also part of the new digital factory division within Siemens. And I'm going to let you just talk about the partnership and what we're doing.
Thanks a lot, Adel. It's very exciting to be here and to make that announcement today, together with TSystems and with Deutsche Telekom. Thank you, Adel, for that. So we are here to embrace digitalization for industry. So what does that mean? We don't want to drive digitalization only for the sake of digitalization, because our customers, tell us exactly what their challenges in a global competitive market are. It's all about speed, it's about flexibility, quality, efficiency, enabling new business model, and this has to be cyber secure as well. These are the challenges they have day in and day out in their global operations or local operations if we talk about Mittelstand as well. So we as Siemens, we try to help them in all these kind of different categories, and together with TSystems and Deutsche Telekom, we make that now special as well. So we have a concept which we call the digital enterprise. It actually, we say it's a horizontal kind of integration for manufacturing industrial companies. And it all starts with actually designing a product virtually. You do this without touching any physical things, only your keyboard and your mouse. You design it, you simulate it, you iterate, improve, without building any prototypes yet. We call that the digital twin of the product. Then you move on and say, how do I actually manufacture this? You do the same thing. You design your manufacturing process, your production manufacturing lines digitally. You further improve, iterate it until you're happy with the result. Only then you go to actually physical production. There you build your lines, you build your products. And this gives you already a kind of innovation and productivity curve which was not there before. But now, with IoT, we can connect the shop floor while it's operating, as well as your products which you have been producing in the outside world, and collect this data back and make use out of it and create insights. We call this the digital twin of the performance. So talking about digital twin often this gets mixed up and simplified. Actually, these are the 3 digital twins. Each of those provides already a lot of value in itself. But if you now start to connect these and feed back the operational data back to the digital twin of the production in order to iterate and improve, back to the digital twin of the product in order to iterate and improve, that brings you to the next S-curve of productivity. So now let me double-click or deep dive into the digital twin of performance. There we have MindSphere, the IoT operating system, which makes it easy to connect shop floor, to get data into the platform, to actually analyze it, to share it, to create IoT solutions and applications very fast, because that's where MindSphere is optimized for. You can run the applications in the cloud, you can run the applications in the edge. We have Mendix as a leading low-code platform in order to do that even 10 times faster than with normal coding. And this is exactly where, Adel, our partnership now comes into play. Because what you see here with IoT is actually IT and OT getting closer to each other. We talked about IT-OT converge since a decade at least, but it didn't really happen until now. Now with IoT, we actually get IT technology close to the shop floor, into the machines, and make use out of that. And here, the sweet spot is the expertise and know-how of TSystems, which is system integration, which is connectivity, which is communication, tools like Data Intelligence Hub. And on the Siemens side, we have MindSphere, the IoT operating system. We have the deep domain and manufacturing know-how. We have automation hardware. Bringing these together will help us to bridge that IT-OT gap, to unlock that kind of value and productivity for our joint customers. And actually, our teams worked, Adel, in the last few weeks and months already in order to prepare this, and we have even today, while announcing this partnership between Siemens and TSystems around digitalization for industry and IoT, they worked already on a first offering, and we have what we call a cloud connectivity box, which actually enables you to seamlessly connect to the from the shop floor to MindSphere to collect your data and create your first IoT applications and solutions as quickly as you can. So that's a TSystems solution enabled by Siemens.
That's fantastic, Ralph. So bringing these 2 leaders of Germany together was very exciting, right? It took us a little bit of time, as in all big companies do.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you're right. We bring Deutsche Telekom's connectivity, your OT expertise and the factory knowledge, and of course MindSphere solution, Our data intelligence hub that sits on top allows us to connect information from different machines and make them available in an integrated solution that makes the difference in the industry. We thank you for that partnership and look forward to big success.
Thank you. Thank you, Adel. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We have a lot of information that we loaded to you, but I want to close with this X and what X means to us. It's the 4 pillars. It's the connectivity that is core to our business as Deutsche Telekom. It is digital and helping you digitize. It is cloud and infrastructure, and of course it's security. And we bring them together in an integrated T-Systems fashion. And we're super proud because this is the day of the rollout of this new positioning of T-Systems and our new brand promise, which is let's power higher performance. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for attending.
It's about what you do. That's what they say. We say, that's right. But what makes a solution powerful is how you do it. We implement connectivity so seamlessly. It provides the foundation all digitization is built upon. We create the digital glue that bonds partnerships, managing out complexity, one by one. Let's finally unite growth and efficiency, with cloud and infrastructure matching every need. All together, protected by security by design across the system and your company. For you, our integrated approach considers it all, seeing what exists as a chance to establish the next piece, as we go for nothing less than the perfect fit for your success. Let's power higher performance T-Systems.